It's TMNT time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're gonna have a look at the Neca Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Colossal Chrome Dome, aka Chrome Dome in the, they call it Ultimate version, which is basically just one big figure because everything else is 2-packs. Chrome Dome! I don't even remember this figure from this character from the TV show, mostly from the video games, and I did have the original Playmates toy by it. So it does come in a box, NECA style box that looks like a VHS tape, has like a, I think this is the original artwork, which probably was on the VHS for this, and some more in the back, some pictures of the figure, and nice window box if you're one of the people who want to keep it in the box. It's not the worst thing in the world. I think they put a lot of thought and effort into these boxes. Looks great, but I want to keep it out. So let's do that. I have been sent here to protect you from bad figures. It is my job, and I have fun doing it. So, if you have fun watching it, you should subscribe. It's free, it's simple, easy. Also, liking, commenting really helps to get the algorithm going. I appreciate it. Oh my god, this bot is beautiful, and the size, yummy. He stands at about 25.5 centimeters to the top of his head, a little over that even, which means we are going up to 10 inches, 10.1 size comparisons. Here's Jolter, Super 7 Raphael, NECA Donatello, Mattel Stone Cold Steve Austin, NECA Krang with the android body, and Darkseid. What do you mean he's almost as tall as I am? Darkseid does not allow this. Alright, so first and foremost, I gotta say, I love the color on this guy. Now, I looked at the cartoon show, and it really changes from time to time, and that's kind of like one of the things. Is this one 100% cartoon accurate? Yes and no, the most definitely, and as I'm saying, the paint changes in the cartoon. He's like a lot more of a dark gray in the early episodes, and then like, well, episodes. He only shows up twice from what I know. And then later he has like a little bit of a brighter shade. And they went with straight up white. Honestly, I don't care if it's cartoon accurate because I love the choice. I think it looks awesome. It looks like he's a robot. He looks like he's made out of metal. And that's the most important part of this. To make it look, well, somewhat believable, right? So the face sculpt has some of this, what I just talked about. You have like the gray line work that goes on just on the side over here and like a lot bigger on the other one. And then you have the black and just a little bit of a darker gray and the red eyes with the dots in there. Now the line work is good for the most part. I'm zoomed in quite a bit. Yes, it's not clean over there, but just a small detail. Lines in the back also have some bleeding in some parts, and I don't know what's going on in the gray over there. And then you have the wings on the back, where the black lines inside of there. Some part of the wings are black, and the upper parts aren't. I don't know if that's supposed to be, or if that's like a slip. Then you have some small dots and more line work in the front. Big black spot. And I guess the paint is kind of rubbing off from the articulation over there. I just use them, move them around a little bit. Or maybe like in the box, you know, paint keeps rubbing off. Has the blue belt that goes into like a darker tone blue on the side. Now here's one thing. Ooh, inaccuracies. Now I just actually looked at this one because that was his weak spot. The first time he showed up, this panel in the back was his weak spot, and this one should be gray. Oh no. So it's just saying, because like that was kind of like a big deal in the show that they forgot to paint that, is absolutely unforgivable. 0 out of 10, just kidding. Then we got some more blue in the muscles, in the back of his arms, that is. Some more line work. Also, I love these claws, like these hands, the way they're shaped as he's grabbing for something, looks awesome. Then we got some more gray, and again, the way it's kind of shaped on the side over here, the way it flows around, it just looks good. I'm just a big fan of it. You have some bleeding, unfortunately, on these panels and the knees. Very colorful with the blue and red compared to the rest of the figure. And more of the gray, which, I mean, at this point I'm just looking for imperfections, and you know, there's just some small bleeding. There's some lines that might be a little bit too thick, some lines that might go a little bit over line, but nothing major. Once again, something you gotta keep in mind is the price point, and I feel the value of this guy is pretty good. Now for articulation, the hat doesn't really move to the back due to the nature of how it's shaped. It does move forward very nicely though. It does tilt side to side a little bit, and it does go all the way around. You have a hinge in the shoulder that does move up and down, also rotates, and a bicep swivel. Can get that one, and the double hinged elbow goes all the way up, and you got another hinge in the hand, back, forward, and obviously rotates all the way around. Chest area, fairly nimble, considering there's not really that much room. I didn't really expect that much. It's fairly decent, back and forth, side to side, and also goes around, not all the way, because it kind of crashes with the abs, with his robot abs. Have a swivel, which is covered up by the belt. Well, it's kind of under the belt. You got another belt for him, by the way. I'll show you that in a second. Then the legs. The crotch piece is soft somewhat at the edge over there, but it's still thick. So it does rotate out to the side. You cannot really straighten it out. Then it goes out to the side and does go to the back. It's the same thing. The butt is somewhat soft-ish, but it doesn't really bend because it's fairly thick. It can also rotate on the leg, and then the double-hinged knee is fairly stiff. Goes up on both sides. And then for the foot, and that's kind of like something I need to address with the NECA figures. I wish the ankle part was a little bit stiffer. I mean, it's alright, it looks good, but once he, especially on this big guy, once he's standing, rocking him back and forth, you kind of notice it should have a little bit more. So, recently I had a lot of NECA figures just kind of fall over, and that's a thing. So, ankle rocker does tilt side to side, does go back and forth, and then you have a toe hinge, which is very stiff, but it does work. For your accessories, you had quite a bit, especially considering how he's such a big dude. You know, rule usually goes by big dude, less accessories, but they really went the extra mile, and I'll show you why in a second. You got two holding hands with the hole in there for, I would say mostly the sword, kind of shaped rectangular. You got the fist hands, that's the classic stuff. You gotta have fist hands, and you got two chomp hands for some ninja action, I'd say. And only one trigger finger hand. Well, guess you only need one. If you're going by the show, he only uses his right hand for the gun. Here's the gun, which does seem to have a little bit of a pack hole, which I couldn't really get to work. Again, I'll get to what I mean by that. The paint on it seems to be a little bit off on some of it. Doesn't seem to line up completely over there. Some of the black is bleeding a little bit. Minor, well, some minor issues, some bigger ones, but it's okay, I guess. You got a computer. You got an old school 90s computer. And again, I took a little bit of time. I went back and wanted to watch the episodes where Chrome Dome shows up, because it's only two of them. And why is there a computer? Because the second time around he gets destroyed, they use a computer to hack his brain and find out where the turtles are captured. And that's how the computer looked like. It's an amazing piece. It looks great, actually. The paint job, there's no bleeding on it, as far as I can tell. The black on the line work also is good for the most part, and yeah, it looks great. It's just like it's one of these random accessories you can put up everywhere. And then here's like the extra part, because from what I can tell, he never had a belt or swords like that in the show. Now, the only thing I have, well, a bit of an issue with is this belt kind of looks like his regular belt, just upside down, and a lot smaller. And it looks kind of weird. He had it on out of the box, and this just looks kind of weird. Why didn't they make a belt that kind of has the same size as this belt, and then kind of drape it over? I don't know. It's just kind of a weird thing. But I guess what this is supposed to be is a little bit of extra, and it seems to be more reminiscent of the old school figure by Playmates, which did have a belt, and I think also holsters for the sword. Can obviously take it off as I'm showing you. And these swords look amazing. Unfortunately, the belt's already kind of rubbed off on this one. It's a tight fit, so I mean, I'll see if I can get this off. But the swords actually look really cool. I love the design of it. It's like a cyber sword. Well, that's not completely it. I forgot something. There's a peg. There's a peg, which I would say is supposed to be for the gun, but I can't fit it in. It just like doesn't really enter much. And that's like one thing from the show. He had the gun, was connected to the side of his belt, and then he took it out, and it's like, yeah. Final thoughts! I love it. This is an amazing piece. with an excellent size, comes at a great price, so I don't have any complaints about it. There's some small imperfections in the paint, something I can gloss over. Going back to the price point, this costs you around 50 bucks. And for what you're getting, the accessories, the amount of hands, like the extra swords and the belt and whatnot, yeah, I have zero complaints. It's just, this is a great depiction of the character from the show. And I'm blown away by the paint job also, as I was saying. I'm gushing over how they did it. I love the white and like the darker gray and the way it just kind of lines up and makes it look like a metal dude. Highly recommend it because I think it's amazing. That's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Chrome Dome wants.